What would you do if the person you loved most swore they were being haunted by something you couldn't see? For weeks, my wife, Clara, woke up screaming, her eyes wild with terror, whispering about shadows that whispered back. At first, I thought it was stress, her new job, the long hours, the weight of our move to this creaky old house. But her fear grew, gnawing at her until she was a ghost of herself, pale and trembling, convinced something malevolent lingered in our home. I didn't believe in ghosts, but I believed in her pain. So, I decided to run a test, one that would either prove her fears or banish them. What I found shook me to my core. Clara's night terrors began a month after we settled into the house. A century-old Victorian with warped floors and windows that rattled in the wind. She'd wake at 3:17 a.m., always at that exact time, gasping, her hands clawing at the air. "It's here," she'd sob, pointing to the corner of our bedroom where shadows pooled like ink. I'd hold her, whispering that it was just a dream, but her fear was contagious, seeping into me. During the day, she'd wander the house, tracing her fingers along the walls, as if searching for proof of the thing that tormented her. I suggested therapy, but she refused, insisting it wasn't in her head. "It's real, Tom," she'd say, her voice breaking. "It knows my name." I couldn't stand seeing her unravel. So, I bought a night vision camera, a motion sensor, and a voice recorder tools to capture whatever was happening. My plan was simple. Set them up in our bedroom, let them run for a week, and show Clara the footage was empty. I'd prove it was just nightmares, nothing more. The first night, I stayed up, watching the camera feed on my laptop. Clara slept fitfully, murmuring in her sleep. At 3:17 a.m., she bolted upright, screaming, her eyes fixed on that corner. I checked the feed, nothing. Just her, thrashing alone. The motion sensor stayed silent. I sighed, relieved, and went to comfort her. But the next night, something changed. The camera caught a flicker, a brief distortion in the corner, like heat waves rising from asphalt. I replayed it, heart pounding. It was faint, but there. The motion sensor logged a spike at 3:17 a.m., though nothing visible triggered it. The voice recorder was worse. Amid Clara's whimpers, there was a low, guttural whisper, repeating her name. "Clara, Clara," my blood ran cold. I checked the equipment, everything was functioning perfectly. I didn't tell her. I couldn't. Instead, I kept recording, night after night, each time capturing more. Faint footsteps, a shadow that seemed to pulse, and that voice, growing clearer, angrier. By the fifth night, I was a wreck, questioning my own skepticism. Clara's health was deteriorating, she barely ate, her skin ghostly pale. I decided to dig deeper, researching the house's history. At the local library, I found records of a woman named Eleanor who'd lived here decades ago. She'd died in our bedroom, consumed by grief after losing her family. The details were sparse, but one article mentioned her obsession with the number 317, her family's death date, March 17th. My stomach churned. Was this what Clara felt? Was Eleanor's pain somehow lingering, latching onto her? I confronted the possibility that this wasn't just psychological. I set up one last test. I placed a journal in the corner, open to a blank page, with a pen beside it. If something was here, I wanted proof it could interact. That night, Clara's screams woke me again. The camera showed her staring at the journal, frozen. I grabbed it the next morning. Scrawled across the page, in jagged, uneven letters, were the words, "Help me." My hands shook. This wasn't Clara's handwriting. I showed her the evidence, expecting her to panic, but instead, she softened. "She's trapped," Clara whispered, tears streaming down her face. "Eleanor. She's not anguished, desperate." Clara's empathy stunned me. Despite her fear, she saw a soul in pain, not a monster. We contacted a local medium, not because I fully believed, but because Clara needed peace. The medium performed a ritual, speaking softly to the air, guiding Eleanor to let go. That night, Clara slept through 3:17 a.m. for the first time in weeks. The cameras never caught anything again. The house felt lighter, as if it could breathe. Clara's color returned, her smile tentative but real. I don't know if it was Eleanor or something else, but I learned that love means trusting someone's pain, even when you can't see its source. Clara taught me that sometimes the bravest thing is to face the unknown, not to fight it, but to understand it. Our home is ours again, but I'll never forget the chill of those nights, or the truth that some hauntings are cries for help, echoing across time.